way to my heart is La Rosa's Pizza. And we're here today about a mile, if that, from Simon Kenton High School. If you can't tell, this is the La Rosa's Pizza party room. But the way to a state championship in 2023 come through our guest today. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
My name is Braydan Blevins. I was the 2023 state champion at 106 pounds this year.
And of course, we're going to talk about your bracket. We got a bunch of awards and a bunch of medals and all that to go through. But standard question we like to start off with. For those that don't know the answer, what gets you into wrestling? How do you find it?
Yeah, so my dad wrestled in high school, and then he always tried to get me to wrestle, and I was more of like a baseball kid. And then my little brother started wrestling when he was in kindergarten, and I was in 3rd grade. And then I was always going through and sitting at his practices and tournaments, and I was like, why don't I do it? So I just picked it up in 4th grade and wrestled ever since.
All right, and that's a good way to get started. I couldn't tell you the number of guys that we've met with so far in the series. They said that dad wrestled, grandpa, uncles, big brother, little brother, and they kind of fell in. So it's kind of cool that I'm not saying for the most part, but as you guys know, wrestling kind of is has been a closed sport, and with this series, we've opened the eyes of a lot of people to the sport, just how exciting it can be, the pomp, the circumstance that kind of adds to it. And it's cool that a new audience is finding it. So let's go, though, over your career. Now, you won as a freshman. As we're filming this, October of 23, you're a sophomore. So you have the potential to add 3 more state championships, and I wish you the best of luck in that endeavor. We don't want to show any favoritism because we know there's a lot of people that you guys know I officiate, and if you're the best, man, go win it. You know what I'm saying? But you start off, what I can find on track wrestling, you may be able to help me out more, but 7th grade, 2021, 86 pounds, 3rd place.
Yeah.
Did you compete in the state before 7th grade or?
5th grade year, I didn't place.
Okay.
And then 6th grade year, I also got 3rd place.
Okay.
So the same kid.
So that would have been at Pikeville, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's we've been at Pikeville in 20 and 21 in Corbin Arena 2022, 2023. So I'm sure at some point I refereed you in your middle school career. 2022 as an 8th grader, 98 pounds, state champion.
Yeah. So
being in the finals, being under or had the eyes of the whole arena on you was nothing new when you were there at the high school state. Because if you won it in 22, and the Corbin Arena is a bigger arena than GRC Gym. And I think that's the year that we done the turn the lights out.
Yeah.
And I stood there and shook hands with everybody. And that was a kind of cool of an experience. 2022, you're in the high school state as an 8th grader.
Yeah.
113 pounds, but you come up a little bit short. You don't make it on. Well, it wasn't a podium then. You got to stand in front of the numbers. But at least you're there. You kind of know, you conquered the middle school level. Now it's time to step up with the big boys. And what's the old saying? You either win or you learn. But something that people need to understand is you were at 113 pounds then.
Yeah. You
won it at 106 pounds. So was that just to get into the varsity lineup at 113 pounds?
Yeah, because our 106 pounder that year ended up getting 3rd, and I couldn't beat him.
And sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get in the lineup, man. And you won your region, correct?
This year?
In 23.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's what I thought. And the 21, 22, 23 seasons, we had semi-states. We're really not going to go over the entire bracket for the 23, but I do want to bring up a specific match. You're wrestling in the semifinals, George Dennis from Harrison County, you get to the sudden victory period, and he gets you with a 4-3 decision, and it, I believe, is a stalling call. Is that correct?
Yeah. I was.
No, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
And so, had you wrestled George before that match?
No, that was my first time wrestling.
Okay, no, that's I'm sure you probably heard the name George
Yeah.
Dennis. He's #1 ranked and all that, right?
Yeah, he was up there. He was really good.
I got you. And just real quick about George. George had 2 tech falls and 1 fall in the overtime decision at semi-state. And we'll get to a little bit more about George a little bit later. So you're coming in to the state tournament knowing that you're probably took the #1 kid in the state to overtime. You have to feel good about your chances, right?
Yeah, I was pretty confident.
I got you. And like I said, 2022 middle school state champion. So being in the finals, being in a big spotlight, a big event, isn't something that's new to you. Now, it should never be like that. It's just passe or it's just another match or whatever. I mean, when it's a state tournament, the state finals, that's what you wrestle for. I mean, that's, you don't break down 1, 2, 3. Do the best you can. 1, 2, 3. Consolation round. No, 1, 2, 3 state champs, right? So you go to GRC coming in thinking, I've wrestled the best kid in the state. We went to overtime. I'm probably going to see him again. Was that your thoughts?
Yeah, that was my mindset going into that tournament.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So you start off your state tournament with a fall over Joey Bratcher from Ohio County, 3 minutes, 28 seconds. You get to the quarters, you're wrestling Braydan Clifford from Union County. You win that by a decision, 8-1. You get to the semis, you're wrestling Roman Valera from Central Hardin. You win that by an 8-2 decision. Roman goes on to get 4th place. You get to the finals, and guess who you're wrestling?
George Dennis.
George Dennis of Harrison County. And George is coming in with a record of 42-0. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would have to imagine George was leading the entire state at every weight class in takedowns, tech falls. I mean, he was just a takedown machine. I refereed him enough. I know I would just kind of stand back and just 2-1, 2-1. I mean, that's all. He was so good at takedowns and still is good at takedowns. But I kind of picked up his strategy about 30 seconds in. I was like, man, alive, this is a takedown machine. In the state tournament, George had 3 tech falls, his first round, quarters, and semifinals. He was also the 2022 middle school state champion at 105 pounds, and that's something that now that Kentucky's finally got our middle school and elementary state tournaments sanctioned, organized like it should in big arenas, you can kind of do a little forecasting of this guy's going to be a terror when he's a junior, senior, or we're probably going to see a rematch at this weight, when these guys are sophomores. When you win your because I was at this, I don't remember who finished first. I was at the state tournament, of course, but did you finish first? Did George finish first? Did you kind of know before, like when your match finished, automatically who was going to be wrestling, or?
At middle school?
No, at high school.
Oh yeah, I knew.
Okay. I'm just curious because I like to ask that, guys that question, knowing that somebody you wrestled before, knowing that it's potentially who's going to be in the finals with you. Did you guys kind of game plan for what George was doing in like practice the week before, or?
Yeah, so we kind of knew how the bracket was going to look like. So my coaches and my coaches and my partner we were working on the same stuff every day.
I got
2
you.
hours just for George. I knew I was going to have him.
I can understand, and there's a lot of people, not just with you, but I think the actual earliest person we've met with is 1981. From 1981 until present day, so many people have said the exact same thing, that we knew this person was going to be in the finals, and we worked for 2 weeks, 3 weeks on defending this specific takedown or getting off the bottom because we knew he was, he could turn you from wherever. And to that, if you hear like pizzas being made, we are at the La Rosa's Pizza. It adds to the ambiance here. This is you guys will see some photos later, but this is an entire Simon Kenton room. So, like I said, you're in the finals against George. We're not going to tell you guys the outcome. We have the match video. We have a bunch of other stuff. But before we get to that, when you win a state championship, you get, as you know, you get some nice rings, some nice medals, some nice plaques. So we're going to get that stuff set up. We'll see you guys in half a frame. I've said it in a lot of the newer videos. These little signs right here, they're the best little memento just to have. It looks so good in the photos. Like you see on social media when teams win, they're holding that big sign up, or the individual signs. They're just so cool. So just a great little memento. Whoever come up with this idea, kudos to you. This is one of the best little just awards that is handed out. Now, we got to be careful. We got to cover the score up here, but we got the bracket. We don't want you guys to know the score just yet. But of course, the bracket, this is something that's so unique to wrestling. You don't hardly see any other sport that has a bracket awarded except wrestling. And like we said, we've met with other guys that have got their brackets from the 80s, the 90s. Guys that from my era, they may have left their brackets at the parents' house or grandparents, and they find it cleaning, and they'll get it framed. They'll have it that way their kids, their grandkids could have it. And it's such just a cool little, another little memento about wrestling that makes it so cool. The plaque, the Kentucky Wrestling Officials Association and the Kentucky Wrestling Coaches Association plaque. Like I said, hang this up on your wall. You can always wear your medal around your neck, right?
Yeah.
And it's just cool. You may not realize it now, but these will mean so much to you when you get older. When you have your own kids, you can pass it down, or you get your own business, however life takes you. You can hang that up. People, what? State wrestling champion. What you got, big boy? You can't take me down, right? And I don't. This is another bracket. This is cover up the score. You guys probably can't see that, but we don't want to take no chances. It's cool, man. 2 brackets. It's got all the other placers, the results. The use of track wrestling has made life so much easier for so many people. And what have you got here, man? Show us what this is. Tell us about this.
Feel like that. I got this for winning. So our conference gives out a Most Outstanding Wrestler plaque. I don't know how to.
That's all right. I got it.
You got
it. Go ahead.
Our conference gives out a Most Outstanding Wrestler plaque. So everybody in our the coaches vote, and then they vote on the wrestler in our conference. So I just got lucky enough to have it out of everybody, I guess.
And we've met with a couple guys. We know Dave Barnes. He's on the channel, 1988 Most Outstanding. Simon Kenton. I think Mike Ramsey was one. There's a couple others I think that we've met with. I think Pat Martz may have been one once upon a time. A couple other guys that we've met with. So it's cool. And the you guys, there could be another conference, if you will, but I think that the Northern Kentucky area is the only place that still has a conference that you guys award stuff like this. So that's a cool feat. And the ring, of course, you guys will see photos of this. It probably won't fit my finger. Yeah, I won't put it on because I didn't win it. You know what I'm saying? But it's still cool, man, that you have this. The Pioneers on one side, Blevins with your hand being raised, the big SK right in the middle, and it was a well-deserved, well-earned championship. You didn't just get out there and accidentally win it. You had to beat this wrestler. You had to beat George. You know what I'm saying? Because George was not going to beat himself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was too good of a wrestler. And to that, Simon Kenton, as you guys know, 1987 team state champions. They have 27 individual state champions. That's tied with 8th place with St. Xavier. And we do have a lot of Simon Kenton guys lined up to meet with. Got a couple here today. You guys are going to see a couple more that we've reached out to on social media. So, and I think I've done my numbers. I think I've got video for 23 of the 27 Simon Kenton state champions. So it's just a fact of getting with everybody so we can get everybody as many as we can. And the videos that I don't have, I've reached out and they said they at somewhere, somebody's house, grandma's house, mom and dad's house, somebody The video exists. It's just getting it converted, getting it to me so I can get it converted. So we might be able to get every single Simon Kenton state champion that is still with us, is still alive, because we know at least one, Jamie Ball, has passed away, and we're going to do a memorial video for him with a couple of his brothers. So, man, we've talked enough. You ready to go back to GRC and watch this?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys at GRC 2023. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. GRC, Winchester, Kentucky. That stands for George Rogers Clark High School. And this is the last year at GRC. We had to move it there for Miss Rona and her shenanigans. Now we're going to be back for 24 on in the horse park there in Lexington. So it's good to get the state tournament back into an arena. Ethan and everybody at GRC done a great job hosting, but it was time to move back to an arena. So this video has the Parade of Champions match, medal ceremony, all that, face off. But when you're here getting ready to walk out, are you guys like in like the auxiliary gym back there? How they have you lined up?
Yeah, they lined us up in the auxiliary gym in like rows kind of, and we just walked out in like a snake pattern. We just
I got you.
One by one.
I got you. When you're standing back there and there's you and 15 other 106s, you have to know I'm seeing George again, right?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Did you go up to him and say, "Hey man, I see you in the finals," or?
He was kind of like, he was like looking at me like I think he kind of knew too.
I got you. And there's an old saying, wit, like people making jokes, or cleverness, if you will. Wit acknowledges wit, and in wrestling, wrestlers acknowledge wrestlers. Like, I know who I'm seeing. I know who it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
So you're leading the charge, 106 pounds. Let's go. I believe that's you right there in the same. No, is that you in the same FCA shirt?
No.
Or is that you right there, right?
I was towards the front. I was in a white quarter zip. I had really long hair at the time.
I got you. This is me filming, by the way, here on the front row. There you come out. You're right. You got the surfer hair going on, man.
Yeah.
George comes trotting out. Quick handshake.
So big.
There you are, man. Of course, you're in the white singlet. You've got Blake Durham as the assistant, and you've got the world famous Joe Catan as the head. You got Mike Ford and Kristen on the score clock, so you got a whole good officiating crew. Now, right out of the gate, we know George is a takedown machine. What was your game plan to defend his takedowns? What did you work on?
So I was just trying not to defend that single leg. I mean, he's already went for it twice, but
yeah.
So I was trying to stay low, but keep moving. I was trying to attack more, so then don't give him a chance to get to my legs. It was tough, obviously.
Yeah, no, it's.
I was just trying not to give him a chance to actually score, because I don't think many people actually attacked on him.
We're out, we're neutral. And I would say this is probably the longest George has went in his whole season without getting a takedown in the first period.
Oh, I know he took me down in like 10 seconds at semi-state. That was a good snap down.
I'm going to say, when he snapped you down right there, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I just slapped him.
Yep. He gets a takedown. And normally, I mean, just what I got to officiate, what I got to see, as soon as he cuts you.
Yeah.
Pushes you away. So when you're back on your feet, you're like, okay, I've got my head bounced off the mat. I've got a takedown. Now what?
That kind of made me mad. I didn't like how that's his style. I just didn't like getting cut in the state finals. It's kind of embarrassing. Everybody watching. But
I understand.
so it set me off. I didn't feel very good. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it at the beginning of this match. I had to get warm, get locked in.
I get you. There's a great old saying, you know, sometimes you gotta realize, or you gotta be punched before you realize you're in a fight.
Yeah. Took a second to get my adrenaline going.
Yep.
Should have scored here. I stopped moving.
Got about 15 seconds left in the first period. You remember hearing the crowd, anybody yell at you, anything like that?
Yeah, you'll hear in the second period my dad yelling at me, and then
I could never imagine your dad yelling at you, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
he was pretty pumped.
So it's your choice. You take down. I was going to ask you, was that something you guys had kind of game planned?
I figured he was going to cut me. And
Okay.
then at semi-state, they hit him for locking hands a couple of times. So I was like, he's either going to lock hands or cut me. I should score here. So
I understand. I got you. So, all right, we're tied up 2-2.
I was like, I got to go.
And he's probably, I would say, 6 inches taller than you at least.
He was standing on the podium. He was taller than me, and he was on second place, and he was
Yeah, I
still
was going
taller.
to say, George is tall. And I think that's the first time George has been taken down all year.
Yeah, first person to actually offensively score on him.
So you get a takedown
And 2 backs.
and 2 near fall. So you're up 6-2. So that had to make you feel somewhat better.
That got me going. I think it I might have messed with him a little since it was the first time anybody actually scored on him. I don't think he was used to it, so it surprised me. I was trying not to show it, but I was freaking out. I was like, oof.
No, hey, listen, man, I get it. That's the whole point of being a little bit emotional, man. Emotions prove it means something to us. I would have to imagine, and this is just me spitballing, that you had no plans of cutting him. You was wanting to ride him as long as because you knew.
I knew he was going to try and take me down, and he's good at neutral, so I was like, I got to hold him to as little as I can right here. I think I was pretty good on top, too.
We're out.
My dad yells, he goes, short time, Braydan, with like 15 seconds left. You can hear him. He was in the top right corner.
Yeah. Got a headshot of Rocky there. So, got about 20 seconds left.
They got me for stalling right here.
Yep. It's a good call, Joe. Who was that voice?
That was Luke Cornwell from Ryle. He's one of
Okay.
my buddies.
He's tried to grab you twice, but you've been able to defend it.
I don't even know a lot of these people yelling for me.
All right, so his choice,
Neutral.
he's going to take neutral, which I don't think was a surprise.
No, yeah.
Because he
He can put up a lot of points in a little
Fast.
time, yeah. I was gassing out a little bit.
So he gets 2 right there. And he cuts you, so you're up 3, 7-4.
His arms are just so long.
Yeah.
All you have to do is grab your leg.
It's like the villain on Spider-Man has those big tentacles that reach out, man.
I had blood on my arm.
So we look a little bit of blood time green, kind of take a breather.
My coach in the gray he was like, dude, you gotta waste time. You can't give him another chance to score. He's 2 takedowns away.
Shoots in. Nothing yet. Nothing. All right, so 1 minute left. I'm sure you out there, you just peeked at the clock. Saw you were up 3. Longest 60 seconds of your life, probably, up to this point.
It was nerve-wracking. And I was like, I can't visibly stall her. I'll give up another point, and then it'll be 1 takedown away. They got me there.
Yeah.
Got a point.
That's it. And Blake goes in to tell him that's his second one. Yep. So that was a good job by the assistant there. Good job on Blake's part.
I was like, now I gotta go.
You gotta go. Because with Georgia's takedown ability, I mean, you're a quarter of a wrong step away, and boom.
I hit him for stalling.
Yep. So Georgia got hit for stalling right there. Got about 33 seconds left.
This was scary, right here.
Yeah, I can imagine. There you go. You circle back in.
I
Smart.
just held him there for as long as I could. My buddy Landon was in the back.
From Rowell, right?
Yeah.
113 pounder, right?
Yeah.
We need to get with him as well.
He told me he was happier for me than he was for himself.
Really?
Yeah.
So 4 seconds left, knowing you've been hit for George shoots in again.
Held him, yeah.
That's the end of the match. And you win a 7-5 decision.
I don't even remember what I was feeling there.
Man. And we have the medal ceremony. So you're sitting here in the chair. He, of course, George taking his second place medal. Like I said, you had to beat him. You couldn't just accidentally sleepwalk through this one. You had to go out and win it.
Yeah. It was tough.
He's, like I said, probably about 5 inches shorter or below him on the podium, and he's still a little bit taller than you, I think.
Yeah, he is.
And it's on top of the world, man. As a freshman.
Yeah, I felt great.
Well, I can imagine.
I had to go, I was talking to the news guy, and then my dad was just standing there waiting for me, so he gave me a big hug.
Yeah. No, man, that was, like I said, man, you wrestled great. Just had a phenomenal performance in the finals. And like I said, you won it. You just did not actually, I hate to keep using that phrase, but go out and just go through the motions. You had to wrestle your best. Do you think that was the best match you've ever wrestled up to that point?
It definitely the smartest, for
okay,
sure.
That's a good way to put it. The smartest you ever had to wrestle, because those of us that try to participate in the sport of golf, you think you can hit your driver over and get a big shot, and you end up going out of bounds. Like, no, I need to lay this up. I need to play smart if I'm going to try to win this hole or come good in this scramble, whatever. So sometimes you got to be smart. Sometimes you have to know, all right, I know I'm good at this, but I know he's better at this than I am. Let's do what I know he's not good at. Let's get a better game plan than what I think I'm getting. Maybe, like I said, work with your coaches, your practice partners, people that's been there before. But man, I think we've covered a lot of good ground here. Do you have anything you'd like to say or add or take away for the greater good?
Not really, just hoping I can get a couple more and be here again, I guess.
Like I said, man, you got the opportunity for 3 more, and like I said, wish you the best of luck at whatever weight you choose to go, however your wrestling career takes you. And if you win it again in 24, 25, and 26, we'd love to have you. Come back up, eat some more La Rosa's pizza. Maybe get some more people here this time. But, man, guys, that's all that I have. Thank you for being here, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys on the mats.